Oh my God, did you see everybody's leaving eXp Realty? First it was that group, and then it was this group, and then now I just heard so-and-so's group already is leaving out the door right now. Is the brokerage failing? Is the model no longer working? Is there a better model out there that I don't know of? Should I be thinking about leaving? Yeah, the truth is that there are a lot of eXp Realty agents leaving every day, quite honestly. However, it's not exactly the reasons that you may be thinking of. So, welcome to the channel. My name's Lor Vang. And in this video, I'm just going to get right into it. The top reasons why eXp Realty agents leave the company. So let's get into that right now. Reason number one is due to attrition. Attrition is just a fancy word that means a natural loss of agents in the business due to a number of reasons like not producing, or they just retire, or they just change careers, right? And a lot of that has to do with not producing. If you haven't been paying attention, 2024 was recorded on record as the lowest producing year in real estate since the last 30 years, 1995. And I don't know if you've been paying attention, but on social media, people have been sharing these memes of saying something like over 50% of agents last year didn't do a single sale, and 70% sold less than 5 homes. Yeah, unless you're selling like $1 million homes, 5 or less, you're pretty much on minimum wage as an agent. So yeah, no wonder agents are leaving the business, and potentially eXp as well included in that. Reason number two that eXp agents end up leaving the company could possibly be that they signed up under the wrong sponsor. So if you're not familiar with what a sponsor is at eXp Realty, the purpose of a sponsor is simply to introduce another agent to join eXp Realty. And that is the only obligation, that is the only purpose of a sponsor. Now, there are a number of sponsors who go well above and beyond this, because they realize that, hey, if I have an agent partner joining me at eXp Realty, when I help them to win, to be successful, to be a top producing agent, that's going to help me to also receive the success as well, the revenue share, right? So when your agent that you partner up with wins, they become a top producing agent, you are going to receive that reward as well. And so as a sponsoree agent, you know, the agent that joins under a sponsor, right? Not sure if that's a real word, but anyway, if you are knowing that your sponsor is going to benefit from you, you will also want some benefit in return. So if you're a brand new agent and before you joined eXp Realty, you never did your research about what is the role of a sponsor, what top sponsors are there at eXp Realty? What are the good ones, right? What does that benefit come from, right? What is the point of a sponsor, correct? So if you are an agent, you didn't do that type of research, you didn't know, well, you might end up signing up under the wrong sponsor, quite frankly. Or it could be the sponsor that you join, pitched you a good pitch and they didn't deliver. They suck. So the only way to leave and switch sponsors, right, is to leave the company entirely for 6 months, and then you can rejoin. Unfortunately, corporate at eXp does not allow. There's no exceptions. Very well, it's pretty much like maybe like a 0.1% probably that you can switch without leaving the company, but it's pretty much nearly impossible. So the only way is to leave the company, unfortunately. And until policies change, well, we're going to have a lot of, unfortunately, we're going to have agents that leave eXp Realty for 6 months only to rejoin later because they want to rejoin under a different sponsor to get the value, to get the training, the mentorship that they align with, that they want in their business. Reason number three that agents end up leaving eXp Realty is because they joined eXp Realty under the wrong expectations, right? So if they do the research and they see eXp Realty is a top nationwide brokerage, worldwide brokerage, which it is, they might be under the impression that just by simply joining such a brokerage, the #1 biggest real estate residential brokerage in the world by agent count, top transactions, seeing all the awards, seeing all the accolades, seeing all the amazing top producers, teams, and all that stuff joining eXp Realty, they might automatically be thinking in their head, oh, all I got to do is join the brokerage and the success is just going to flow into me. It's going to be a magic pill. It's going to be the easy button. Unfortunately, that's not the case. You still have to do work at the end of the day, right? You still got to lift those weights yourself, right? And there is a crazy amount of resources at eXp Realty: support, training, tools, technology, lead gen. All this stuff is available. And just like at any other brokerage, to be quite honest with you, any other brokerage that is a major nationwide brokerage, they pretty much have all the top tier technology, top tier training, top tier, leaders there to pour into their agents and to help them. But guess what? Like I said, if you're not the one lifting those weights yourself, the results are not going to happen. So you do have to do some work. Don't just expect that, hey, I'm going to join this brokerage and all this stuff, all the success is just going to happen. Reason number 4 that agents end up leaving eXp Realty is that they actually never took the time to learn about all the tools, all the trainings, all the software, all the support, all the resources that we have available to agents at eXp Realty. So the brokerage has so much support. It's unbelievable. Live trainings, pre-recorded stuff, coaching now we offer, fast cap program for newer agents. There's a fast start program too for brand new agents. There's mentor program. There are so many different programs, tools, support out there, right? On the brokerage side, right? Our YouTube channel that's free for all agents, regardless of brokerage, has amazing top producing agents that come on. They share their secrets, they give away their strategies, all for free. It's incredible. And then of course our events, EXPCon, all the build events, the rally events, all of our top agents, top teams are up there presenting, sharing their secrets. If you don't plug in, you don't go to those type of events, you don't surround yourself with top producing agents, you don't even know what's possible for yourself. Right? If you were just comfortable doing that 10 sales a year, you don't see that, oh wait, there's other agents out there doing 100 transactions a year solo, 10x what you're doing. Wow. How are they doing that? Right? Get yourself in those rooms so you can learn how to grow. And then of course, you have to plug into your upline, right? Plug into your RevShore organization, right? Your leaders. If you're not plugged into the people who brought you to the company, you're missing out, right? That's the whole purpose. We're all human. We're here for the social connection, accountability, right? Accountability. Hold your upline partner accountable for your success, right? And do what they tell you to do. If you don't do anything that they're telling you to do, they're going to get tired of telling you. Right? They're not going to pour into a person who is not willing to follow the instructions that they're being told, right? And so it's a two-way street, right? Success works both ways. If you show them effort, they're going to pour even more. They're going to challenge you, right? And if you don't want to be challenged, then obviously probably not the place for you to be, because you don't want to grow. You don't want to, become a leader eventually. So it's tough, right? And that is another reason why some agents end up leaving. So this brings us to the last item, why a lot of agents end up leaving eXp Realty. And this is probably the most common reasons, right? And it is because potentially agents have shiny object syndrome, right? Where they might think the grass is greener on the other side, or they're always looking for something better. Right. And of course, there's a lot of different brokerages out there. Everybody has options, right? But, you have to go where you think is best for your business. And so obviously, income, right? There's a lot of agents who might think, oh, well, if I go to a transactional brokerage where there is no split, I just get 100% of my commission and then I pay a transactional fee, I'll probably earn more there, right? It'll be better for me there. But, those type of brokerages, there is a break-even point. Obviously, right? So you have to do the math depending on how much production you do. Up to a certain point, it does benefit you. If you do less than a certain point, right, you're going to keep more. If you go beyond that, right, you start doing a lot more transactions, all of a sudden you're paying so much in those transaction fees that it's not going to make sense for you, right? You'll be way better off at a place where you cap and you go 100% and you can potentially earn all of your split, all your cap right back to you, right? If you hit Icon Award. So, you have to keep those things in mind. So along with, real estate agents being driven by income, of course, it's also because somebody is telling them about all of these things, right? Somebody's actively whispering in their ears, hey, have you heard about such and such, right? You may earn more over here, right? And as you know, it is a heavily recruiting game in the industry here, right? And unfortunately, fair or unfairly, eXp Realty gets pointed the finger a lot as being the recruiting brokerage, right? However, sorry to burst your bubble, everybody recruits, everybody, right? And I've been a target by a lot of different brokerages, even the dinosaur brokerages, right? Try to get me the small ones too. It doesn't matter, because guess what? Every brokerage needs agents to work for them, right? To sell the houses for them. So obviously they're going to recruit, right? And so, you just have to recognize this, right? And nowadays there's so many copycat models of eXp. People who create these brokerages that are, built on eXp's model, but they just tweak it slightly, right? So we've seen already a number of copycat brokerages out there. You can look it up yourself. There's a ton out there right now, right? That are similar. They might be, oh, we're like eXp, but we're a transactional brokerage, or we're lower cap, or we're lower split, lower fees, we're no monthly fees, right? Instead, we just do yearly fee. So it doesn't look like a monthly fee. So, for whatever reason, some agents really, really care about not having to pay a monthly fee versus a yearly fee. Either way, the brokerage is still going to get paid regardless, right? But for some reason, it makes a difference to an agent. But at the end of the day, right, you as an agent, you need to understand your own personal goals, your own personal business goals, right? And choose the brokerage that aligns with that to help you get to where you want to go. Again, most brokerages, they will be able to do that for you. But all these brand new models that come out, their biggest pitch is, hey, have you heard about us? We're eXp 2.0, 3.0. And yeah, we're new. We're a startup. But guess what? When we take off, you're going to be on. And we're going to go like super high. If you're at eXp right now, you're too late. The boat has sailed. So they pitch you on this stuff to make you feel like you're holding the bag, that you've missed the ship, right? And sorry, but if you really think about it, how many agents are at eXp right now, right? 88,000, let's say 90,000, right? So 90,000 agents at eXp right now, let's say that. How many licensed agents are there in the US, right? According to NAR. So licensed realtors, roughly 1.4, 1.5 million, 1.4, 1.5 million. And eXp is 90,000. There's a ton of other agents out there. And that's just realtors. There's commercial agents out there, which eXp has a commercial division. So the ship has not sailed at eXp. There's so much more opportunity for agents still. And to be quite honest, eXp is expanding worldwide. We're in 28 states now. 28 international markets. 28 international markets is where eXp's at, and they're growing. They're continuing to grow. We just added Peru last week, right? So there is plenty of opportunity at eXp. The ship has not sailed, right? People who are telling other agents that to create FOMO, right? It's not real. And then this whole, oh, we're eXp 2.0, 3.0. Join us. We're going to blow up. Guess what? They may blow up. They may just blow up and go bankrupt, to be quite honest. Because if you're an agent, do you want to join that brand new startup or risk your business to join a startup that may never take off? It might just blow up. It's like, do you want to join a startup or do you want to join the Amazon of the business, right? So eXp is the Amazon of the real estate cloud-based brokerages, right? Number one. By far, 90,000 agents, no debt, lots of revenue, lots of accolades, lots of transactions, volume, all this stuff, all those awards. Closest one is, a fraction, a quarter, right, of what we do. So the choice is yours. One last thing to add to that, though, is that you have to realize, is what that company, that startup company is doing, is it actually sustainable, right? There's some companies out there that are giving away everything, right? Giving away so many perks to their agents just to entice them to join, And sure, it's cool, I guess. But if the brokerage isn't profitable, if it's not going to be around, how long are you going to be working there as an agent, right? So you have to realize, that is it in your best interest, right? So hopefully that helps you to decide for yourself. So back to the point, there is a lot of this shiny object syndrome. And there's agents who leave eXp to another place, and then just a little bit short time later, they've already left that place to go to the next shiny object place, right? And the cycle just continues. But at the same time, there are quite a lot of real estate agents that end up coming back to eXp Realty because they realize, oh, the grass was not actually greener on the other side. The gotchas, we didn't explain this detail, this fine print part about how this part works in our model. And then when when you're over there finally and you learn, oh crap, that's not what I thought it was. Then, you come back, right? And that's cool. That's fine. It's always good to learn and understand what else is out there. I'm a big believer in that, right? I like to Actually, I like to take recruiting calls from other brokerages, just to learn. Hey, what do they got going on? Right? Is it actually better? Right? It never hurts to compare. So, definitely check things out. And that way you actually do know that you are at the right place that you're supposed to be. So to understand if you are at the right place, instead of asking why are eXp Realty agents leaving, you may want to ask the question, why are top producing real estate agents at eXp Realty staying with the company? Why are brand new top producing agents out there that are not with eXp Realty? Why are those agents coming over? Right? And so when you ask those questions, you'll find out that you are at the right place, the reasons why you should stay, right? And so for me, I mean, I've been at eXp Realty for 4 years now, right? This is my 4th year. Yeah, 4th year. I joined in 2021. And I joined at first just to be a producer. I just wanted to learn how to produce, right? And my sponsor that I joined, he crushes it in YouTube, which is what I'm on right now, YouTube, and digital marketing, social media branding. I wanted to generate business through social media. That's what I wanted to learn how to do so that I can make money for my family, for my mortgage, right? So I can pay my bills. And that's what I did. And in my 2nd year at eXp Realty, just by following what my sponsor was teaching, I iconed. So I did 40 plus transactions. I hit icon. That means I get all of my split that I paid to the company, the 20%, $16,000. I got all of that back to me in the form of eXp Realty stock. That was amazing. I never thought I'd be able to hit that so quickly at the company. So that really opened my eyes. Well, what's possible? I didn't even know that I could do that, right? And then the following year, right? It's cool that you hit your goal, your big giant goal, your mountain, right? But then for me, it's like this, I had to do it again, right? But this time, while I'm doing it again, guess what? I'm going to give back. I'm going to teach others how I did it, right? Other people who were just like me, didn't realize that they could do it too, right? How did I do it, right? It might work for them. It may not work for them, right? They may have different ways that they get business that they want to grow. That's totally cool too, right? But, maybe I can teach them a little bit something, right? So they partner with me, I help them out, and, I benefit in their success as well through revenue share. So my 3rd year, I started really focusing on revenue share because guess what? When you're relying on your own personal production year after year after year after year, you got to start over, right? Every January 1st. Guess what? You start all over, back on that grind. And how long is that going to be sustainable for you as an agent, right? Are you going to burn out eventually? Probably, right? I don't want to open doors forever. I don't know about you, right? But you have to think about multiple streams of income. And that's why I love what eXp has to offer, right? Not only can you earn through your active agent income, but just by helping other agents to come over to eXp, to join you, partner with you at eXp Realty, be part of your rev share organization, right? You can help them to be better agents, to get in the business, to actually produce, and their success becomes your success, right? You partake in a little bit of revenue share from their production. And so that's quite amazing. I mean, you can just devote a little bit of time to building this little thing called a revenue share organization, which is essentially another way you can look at it is you are building another brokerage underneath eXp Realty, right? And the coolest part is you're only paying $75, $85. You're only paying $85 a month to build your own brokerage under eXp Realty. And by doing so, now you have agents that you're helping out, right? You're building a revenue share organization for $85 a month. You're building your own brokerage. And the coolest part, eXp takes care of all the headaches part, right? The operations, the training, right? The software, the tech, IT, accounting, payroll, taxes, licensing in multiple states, right? I have agents in over 10 different metro markets in 4 different states. I would never be able to do that on my own. You know how long it would take to open up my own brokerage in 4 different states and 10 different markets? That's insane, right? You have to join every single MLS. You have to, join the states. You have to get your broker license, pay more fees, get more education, all this stuff, right? Who wants to do all that? I just want to plug in and work, right? The model, the wheel, eXp's already built the wheel for you. Just plug in and go. And so that's another cool part, right? The passive revenue share, and then of course the stocks, right? So some people may not understand stock. They might be like, oh wow, that's cool, that's neat. Okay, cool, you get stock at your company, right? Guess what? They don't understand the importance of stock, right? Which is equity. You actually own a part of the company that you work so hard every day for. You're producing money for that company, the brokerage, right? At your little tiny boutique brokerage, at your franchise brokerage that you work at, do you own any of that? Is your owner giving you something of that? Majority of you will probably be like, no, you don't get anything, right? So you could be there 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, making all this money for that broker, right? They get all the revenue share, right? They get all that. They're not giving that back to you. And if they ever sell their company, you're not getting anything. You don't own anything. What do you have to show for yourself, right? But the cool thing in eXp Realty, there's so many different ways you can earn stock. You don't have to just recruit to earn stock. You can earn stock just through regular production, regular agent activities. You can choose to get paid 5% of your commission in stock at a 5% discount, which is really cool. And so, now you're stacking up your stock on the side while you're working, and that's money, income, assets that is sight unseen. It's building in the back, right? And my 4 years I'm here at eXp, I got something like a little bit over 30K in stock, something like that, So, I mean, it's not a whole lot right now, but the cool thing with stock, it goes up, right? It goes up, goes down, and we're buying in at a good time right now, right? We got a lot of cynics out there. Oh yeah, how's your eXp stock doing? Well, you see it's taking a crapper. Guess what? I like that. I want to see it down because I'm still accumulating, right? I want to buy when it's low, right? I'm not retiring anytime soon. Bring it. Let me buy up some more, right? And so let me go close some more deals, have my commission, go buy that stock for me so that later, 5 years later, 10 years later, hopefully then that stock goes double, 2x, 3x, 4x, so on, right? Personally, I know real estate agents at eXp Realty that been with the company for a number of years and they made crazy amount of stock. They sold their stock to go buy a house in Hawaii. It's freaking ridiculous. The power of, what that extra income, what that asset can do for you, the doors it can open, right? It's really cool. So those are the reasons why I love eXp, right? So not only can you earn through the active income, the passive income, but you also earn equity. The revenue share can actually be passed down to your legacy, right? So you can actually will that away. When you pass away, you can will it away to somebody in your family so they can keep receiving the revenue share that you've built. So that's generational legacy you're building here. So that is amazing. And then of course, the number one reason why I love eXp Realty, it's the people, it's the agents. I've built so many great connections, so many inspiring people, just great human beings. I mean, obviously they're awesome agents, but at the end of the day, they are great human beings. They are so giving, and I just learned so much from them. They give to me with no expectations of anything in return. I'm not even in their revenue share organization. Some of them, right? I'm not in their revenue share organization, but we're under the same company. The stock, if I do well, the stock goes up, they benefit. If they do well, stock goes up, I benefit. So we're all the same company, same eXp, right? So by us helping each other be better agents, we all win still at the end of the day, right? Even if we're not in the same revenue share organization, which, by the way, there is some cool things coming out, and it's going to be called co-sponsoring, actually. So if you are, 2 agents at eXp and you're not in the same revenue share organization, but you have the opportunity to sponsor another agent, well, you both could be the sponsor. So they call it co-sponsoring. So one becomes a primary sponsor and one becomes a secondary sponsor. So, you both can benefit from the rev share organization, right? So it's pretty cool. It's pretty amazing, and that's going to roll out in April here. Probably by the time this video comes out, it's going to be announced, right? So I don't have the full details yet, but I'm going to do a future video on that and break that down for you on how that works. But that's gonna be something, again, very cool, where you can co-sponsor, have 2 sponsors for an agent. So you can, it's almost like two rev share family trees together, so a hybrid. So, but yeah, that's it for this video. Hopefully it helps to shine some light on the reasons why there looks to be maybe a potential problem at eXp Realty, but quite honestly, it's all a part of growth. Sometimes you have to take a couple steps back before you can actually, skyrocket forward, right? So 2 steps back, 1 step forward, or, before you really take off, right? It's just the way it works in business sometimes, the rubber band effect, right? So you got to regroup, do some tweaks, and then when things get better, right, it takes off from there. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Enough of me rambling on at the end here. If you enjoyed it, give me a like, give me a share, give me a comment below so that the algorithm here helps to get it out to the people that need to see it. And I'll catch you in the next video.